Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be sharing with you guys how I made my VTuber as a PNG tuber slash GIF tuber. Now, I know you're all familiar with VTubers being 3D and whatnot. They pretty much use a software called Live 2D, but I can't use that right now because I don't have a face tracking feature. Basically, I don't have a good iPhone and I don't have a good webcam. So before we start, here are the softwares that you're going to need. First, you're going to need a drawing software to create your avatar. You can choose to commission an artist to do your sprite sheets, your character design for you, but because I know how to do it, I decided to do it myself using Photoshop. Now, you're going to need to download VideoTube Mini. I will put the link in the description. You can go and download it. It is actually free. So here is like the general gist of what it looks like. You can read all of this later on, and when you choose to download it, if you have the money, buy it, donate it. It is only $5 that they're asking, but if you really don't have the money, you can just, no thanks, just take me to the download and you can download to whatever system you're using. So let's switch over to VideoTube Mini real quick. As you can see, this is my avatar. I already have everything done, and I'm just going to go through what everything is right now. So this is a microphone volume sensitivity. Basically think Discord. And with sensitivity, I put it, you have to adjust it based on your environment. If you are generally in a very noisy environment, you can put it really high so it doesn't catch a lot of noise. But yeah, I'm in a quiet environment, so I can just put it really low. With the delay sensitivity, it comes down to your avatar. I generally put it here because I've experimented with different levels and I find this is the best levels for me. With your microphone device, whatever you have on, this is like the general device, but I have my snowball microphone, so I'm using that. And with the background, you can change to different kinds, but we generally keep it green because we want to green screen it later. And this is just like to save your projects and whatnot. So now let me show you the different expressions that are required to create your VTuber. We have the closed mouth, open mouth, closed mouth blinking, and open mouth blinking. And these are motions for when she is, when she's not talking, she's vibing. When she's not talking, she's shaking. So yeah, I keep it at bouncy because she's just idling. And this is for when she is talking. You can make her like bounce and whatnot. You can play with all of this yourself. These are quite fun. I think these are really good elements to add to the VTuber to give it better motion. And finally, we have mouth transition for do you want her to jump when she's talking or no. Moving on, we have to set the hotkeys. Now, the hotkey, you only want to set your hotkeys if you have different expressions. So as you can see, I have expressions up to 9. I have 9 expressions. Let me just show you my references real quick. So here you can see my references of what I'm trying to emulate. I already have like an avatar. I wanted to go Disney, but I felt it was impossible. And this is my color palettes. I only use 5 colors for the VTuber. And here is a reference to mouth expressions. So these are like when you're saying a certain word. For example, when you're saying CH, you're saying Cheetos. This is what your mouth looks like when you're saying Cheetos. So yeah, this is all my references. Now let me show you my my layers. So the layers right now, they're looking very chaotic, but I'm going to explain to you why. The ones that I marked red are the ones that I am going to be animating. Now you can see there are a lot of black ones. These are the ones that are just the base and they're not going to be animated. This is something for you to experiment. You have to decide what you want your VTuber to do. With PNG tuber, it is much more easier because you don't have to pull on like the joints and whatnot. So yeah, first I start off with the head. Now, the head consists of the ears, the face, the front hair, and like some hair sparkle. I recommend when you're drawing everything, you have to mirror them. So as you can see, I only did one side of the head and then I just duplicated to the other side. And then I add the front hair, we have the sparkle. I will be animating the back hair for when she is blinking. And then let me show you the neck. And I also gave her a body. And I gave her right arm top, but I just duplicate the other arm. Finally, I have the blush, the idle eyes, and the mouth. These are all the things that I will be animating. So for idle eyes, I have 3 expressions. Basically, full open, half closed, and closed. And in there, they also consist of eyebrow, the iris and the sparkle, the top lash, and the eye base color. And when she's talking, she will have all these different mouth expressions. I will show you later how I animate her talking, but this is just like the general mouth expressions I currently have for my avatar. So this is how I animate my avatar. First, you need to go to Windows and you need to open Timeline. And Timeline will pop up this thing here. So a timeline is basically frames by frame. So for example, if you have, this is already animated by the way, this is a GIF of when she is blinking and talking. And I started off with half closed because the first image of the VideoTube app is static. But when she starts blinking and talking, you can choose to keep the images static as well. But I chose to do it in GIFs so she has more motions. So when she is talking while closing her eyes, you can see there are different mouth expressions. So here is the finished GIF for when she is talking without closing her eyes. So as you can see, my first expression is when she with her eyes open and with this smile. Now remember like the insane amount of layers I had in the beginning? Basically it's about unchecking and checking the boxes. And this is one frame here. So you add another frame to the next mouth you want to see happening. So the next mouth we want to see happening is this mouth. Basically she's going to be smiling, and I'm just going to hide this one and I'm going to look for the smiling one. So this is basically it. This is how you animate it. You will see, oh, this is her mouth and this is her next mouth. You have to remember to add a new frame before you start on a new expression because it will override your existing frame. And I generally have this mouth in 2 frames, so I'm going to add another one. And our next frame would be this, and then finally we have this. So once you have all your mouth expressions drawn out, it is really easy to animate them. You just need to find the correct mouth expressions. And then I'm going to add another layer and let's see what's the next one. The next one is this one. And I know it's like they're supposed to represent what we're saying with our mouth, but at this point I can't control that. So I'm just gonna go off on what I think looks aesthetic when she is talking. And then finally we have this mouth. The reason I put this mouth at the end of it because she's going to go back into a smile, and this mouth is quite general to help her go back to whatever idle mouth she has. So when we animate it, we press this button for it to play. It looks very slow right now, but when you finally save it, export it as a GIF, it's going to look great. I am going to show you what my other emotions look like. So this is just now what we were doing is when she has her eyes open while she's talking. This is when she closes her eyes. It's a totally different setting, so you need to separate this. So basically what I do is, for the first frame, I have her eyes half open and I have this mouth going on, and then she closes her eyes and I repeat this because I felt it is better for her. And then she transitions her mouth, and then finally she opens her mouth. So I only have 5 frames for when she opens her mouth. You can choose how many frames for yourself, but I typically go with 5 frames. For talking, I typically go for 6 frames. You don't want too many frames because like when she starts talking, if you talk like very little sentences, you will see the mouth going insane. So 5 to 6 frames is pretty good. Now let me show you when she is angry. So this is when she is blinking and talking. As you can see, it's half closed, and then she closed it with a different mouth, and I repeat it, but I take out the steam. The steam gives it the edge, you know, gives it some kind of motion. Then change her mouth, and then she opens half her eyes, and the steam comes back. So yeah, this is basically what it looks like. It's pretty cute. So now let me show you how I export it as a GIF. You're gonna go to File, you're gonna click Save for Web, and then in Save for Web, you can basically follow whatever I have right now. But remember to put GIF for this one, and honestly I just don't bother with all of this, but you can play around with it. For this detour, I put diffusion because the brush that I am using for my avatar will look better with diffusion. So this is according to what brush strokes you are using. And then we're gonna click transparency, and again you can also choose no transparency detour, but I chose noise because it's better for my brush. And I basically just keep this all the same as it is. Now for the size, this is generally a big size for a GIF, but at this point I'm using it for OBS, I'm not using it for the internet, so it's good on my part. I just go with whatever size that I'm currently using. I recommend you guys making your avatar GIFs more than 1000 pixels. For me, I just went the extra mile because why not? If my laptop can handle it, I went the extra mile. And then looping, you just put forever. Once you have completed saving it, it's going to look something like this. So this is what it generally looks like. First, you're going to add a game capture, okay? And then you're going to choose a specific window, and we are going to choose our video tube. Alright, so this is what it looks like on OBS. Now we're going to green screen her to whatever screen you have. So you right click, and then you go to filters. In filters, you are going to add a new filter here, and we are going to look for chroma key. So, okay, chroma key, and then key color type, we're gonna choose green. See, already she is transparent to the background, and she moves as she is because it's all green screen. And you can like resize her, put her wherever you want. And if your avatar has some kind of edge and whatnot, you can always just adjust her. She looks like a ghost now, but yeah, you can adjust her to whatever settings that is the best for your avatar. Mine looks pretty good right now. You can even adjust her saturation, her opacity. So this is why I say OBS is good enough. You don't need Streamlabs and whatnot to do this. This is basically it. This is how you implement her into OBS. And yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. Let me know if the video helped you, and would you use this program? Would you try it? Would you try to be a VTuber right now? If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like, subscribe. If you like what I do, feel free to support me on Patreon. I usually post work in progress, illustration downloads, and I also do behind the scenes and shoutouts. Or you can also support me on Ko-fi. Feel free to check out my comics, links in the description. And till then, I shall see you in the next video.